Malik Lewis thought about it. Sobi checks the feet, checks the ball, checks the grip, and knocks it down.
Sobi's being a very aggressive player. He's attacking a lot, trying to get to the bucket, and that attack led to an easy look for himself from the corner.
Wildcats were involved in an old-fashioned shootout on Friday night against Illawarra. This one's a very offensively minded start as well.
The tempo's is good. Both teams prepared to really get into their action quickly. One thing he's got to see the foul down low, and Withers trying to get in front of Jordy Hunter. One thing we see Sobi has had his problems from the three-point line, checks the foot, feet, and knocks it down. But Josh King is all about defense and defensive pressure. Every single possession, every made basket, he's right in front of him, he's barking at his guys. He wants them to pick him up full court, and they haven't been all that successful at doing it just because of the pace of the play of the Wildcats right now.
Climber crosses over. Beautiful move and one.
Andrew, I talked about in the opener, the organization on the offensive end is definitely heightened from the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix with Angus Glover at the point. He's not a traditional point guard, but he's patient and he has a high basketball IQ and knows when to find his spots.
Well, it was a really soft switch there by Pinker. And if you're going to switch, you've got to keep it going towards the sideline. And when he was able to cut back in the middle, it was always going to be reaching at. Making a statement with the block.
Lewis puts the ball on the floor. This is a red-hot start from the Phoenix, who lead by 3. Perth got too little, up in the air partially, settled with the mid-range jumper. 14-9 early on.
Great patience from Perth and Sobi there. They both looked for early shots and weren't there, and they got a really good look as Pender lets one fly, no good. Phoenix up and away.
No Bryce Cotton, still no Dylan Windler today as well for the Wildcats, missing with shin soreness. Derek Walton Jr. not out there for the Phoenix still with a hamstring issue.
Derek, you talked about the organisation of the Phoenix, and I don't think we've necessarily seen any radical sets. We see that nice block by Jordy Hunter, but what sticks out to me is the way in which they're spacing the floor. And even that was another example of it. They're all in their spots on the weak side and really putting some pressure on the rotations and the help and how far you can come off your player.
Sobi inside for Vidanovic, who thought he was being held. Here's Ethan Alman to the next start. And Webster used sparingly on Friday night against Illawarra in his return from injury. Pepper with the shot clock at 7. Kicks it out for Doolittle. Bottom of the net. He's been shooting at 18% for the season. He's a better shooter, and that showed why.
Sobi turns it over again.
Here comes Pinder. That time good deep from Vidanovic. Sobi's got her. This scores from close range.
True, there's not a lot of flags about Matt Hurst's game, but he's highly effective. Knows how to shoot the ball, knows when to take his opportunities.
He's a keeper. Let's hope that he's around this league for a long time because he is a high-impact player.
Ben Mitchell getting sent to check in. Harvey Harris as well. Joe Wieskamp starting to find his feet here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Perth for 3. It's good.
Keep it simple. Find your space, catch it, shoot it, knock it down.
7 points on 3 and 3. Glover came up with a steal on the layup. Timeout Wildcats. Josh King in his first day as coach on his home floor. He's off to a dream start.
He certainly is, and Matt Hurt, he's been incredibly efficient. He's made at least 2 3-pointers in all these games he's played, and Angus Glover might have got a flat tire. Normally you see him go upstairs and throw that one down, but just lays it in. They all still count as 2, Derek.
Tangerine timeout. It's 21-12, and Steph Ballgardle caught up with the new coach of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix Cricket.
phenomenal game on Friday night. What did you like most?
We didn't rebound. We gave up 19 offensive rebounds. So when you do that, the odds of winning aren't in your favor. But luckily, we were able to come out on top.
And did you watch much of Perth's match on Friday as well?
I watched the second half in the hotel with the guys. I know, and then I watched the second half later on. But very talented team. Got a lot of good players. Obviously, Cotton's out, but they've got guys stepping up, and we're gonna have our hands full tonight.
How do you make sure that they don't have that same offensive explosion today?
Yeah, we got to get to their shooters. We can't let them be as comfortable, I think, as they were on Friday night. But again, they've got really good players, and we're going to have our hands full.
We had the chance to chat to Josh King pre-game. Derek, he came over and introduced himself, and I think one thing's very clear. He knows what he wants from this group.
He does, and he's excited to be here and have this opportunity, Jack. You can see he really values it, cherishes, has been a fan of the league for a very long time. And I like the way early on, Andrew, Josh King has his team functioning.
I'm sure. I think your point earlier on about Sam McKinnon set the table for him, though, is a valid one.
Interesting block from Doolittle. He was telling us that he'd be coaching in Germany in the Bundesliga and he'd stay up until late in the morning, or early in the morning, I should say, and watch NBL games. He's got a very clear idea of how things are played here.
He's got familiarity with a couple players, Andrew, he said. Sam Warburg, Ariel 40.
He's played with his teams over in Europe. In Turkey, I think it was, when he was there.
Germany and Turkey. And Matt Hurt continues to put the hurt on the Perth Wildcats.
One thing's for sure with this high-octane defense that he's trying to play, he's rotating his guys in and out. Owen Foxwell wasn't there against the Jack Jumpers a couple of nights ago, so he should be fresh. But
Drew, this guy's unstoppable. He's 5 of 5 from the field for 11 points. I thought he was good. He might be MVP level good.
don't be jumping on now just because I ran with it for 3 games.
Yeah, Coach and I ran with it last week and we got laughed at on Twitter. It looks so silly now. Harris from outside, an unlikely three-point shooter. Hiram Harris, first knockdown of the year.
And a needed one.
It's this end of the floor, Perth Wildcats have really got to pick up their game. Giving up 76% from the field. Oh my goodness! Just as comfortable as you like. You cannot let him just stand there stationary, catch and shoot. Got to make him put it to the floor. He's up to 14 points on a perfect 6 of 6.
And then a sloppy turnover from the Wildcats. The Phoenix are feeding off the energy in this building right now.
Well, that's 5 turnovers for the Wildcats. John really is going to have to make an adjustment on Matt Hurt, because if Foxwell is able to create space like that, you're going to have to let Foxwell make a play and shoot it, because that right there is not a good option. Matt Hurt is outstanding.
Wieskamp drives, got past Henshaw. They're getting whatever they want right now.
Well, they are. And a lot of it's because they're knocking down the 3 ball. 5 of 7. Henshaw just pulling up in a wild 3.
Hustle from Foxwell. 13 to 17. Foxwell drives and scores.
We saw these teams play against another out in Perth, Andrew. This Phoenix team is nothing like that team.
They're white hot at the moment, 32 points, and some of that you can attribute to just some missed assignments on the defensive end, but a lot of it's just the aggressive nature of Phoenix as Geordie Hunter comes in for Matt Hurt, just to give him a quick breather, I suspect, before.
But Andrew, the Phoenix are 13 of 16 from the field, 5 of 7 from the 3, and what I love, 7 assists. They're playing together. They understand where their shots are supposed to come from and how they're supposed to get them.
Yeah, the 5 of 7 from the 3 has really got the Perth Wildcats defense spread. And when they're so spread, you're seeing Foxwell and Glover be able to get to the paint and finish around the rim.
They're second last in the competition, three-point shooting percentage. This Jesse Wagstaff in the record-breaking game. How's that for a start?
And Jesse's ever reliable. That shot right there kind of symbolizes his experience.
Josh King's not going to tolerate. He's going to hold this player accountable because he didn't like the fact that Jesse Wagstaff got open, and straight away he points to Matt Kenyon and gets him to shove in. And is explaining to Matt Kenyon right in front of us.
The explanation was pretty straightforward.
But this is going to be interesting because he's coming from Europe where it's a lower possession league. So every mistake on the defensive end counts for more. Our league is slightly different, Andrew. We like to emphasize defense. We understand the importance, but more defensive mistakes have been acceptable.
Well, one thing's for sure, he's not playing his offensive style like it's typically Europe. As Harris says, Jack, what are you talking about? I made one, and now I'm just going to step up and make two.
This was not on the Sunday bingo card. Hiram Harris with 2 threes in the first quarter.
Well, now the Wildcats are 5 of 7 from the three.
They were 9 of 12 in the first quarter on Friday night. Here's Malik Lewis. Offensive rebound by Hunter. He puts it back in. That's 35 first quarter points for the for the home team.
And this was always going to be the challenge, Drew. Put that Perth Wildcat style of play and the defense travel. It's all well and good to be doing it in front of the Red Army, but can you do it out here in hostile circumstances?
Couple of seconds difference between game and shot clock. Withers has to dump it off. Michael Harris off balance. Doesn't get it to drop. The best corner that we've seen from Southeast Melbourne in this NBL 25 season. 35 to 23, they lead after one on Sunday Hoops.
Pick up a better brekkie at Hungry Jack's drive-thru. Forget muffins. Try our new freshly toasted Turkish buns with crispy bacon or flame-grilled sausage, cheese and barbecue sauce. And our award-winning rich velvety barista coffee. Brekkie's better at Hungry Jack's.
What does it take to win Money Magazine's Best Super Fund for 2024? Strong performance, value for money, and a focus on members. A super fund that delivers all three? That's a plus.
In the Mitsubishi Good To Go Spring Sale, ABN holders drive away all new Trident GSR from $64,990 and Trident GLX from $42,990. Plus 3 years free servicing across the Trident range.
When you power your home with great value and sustainable energy plans from Engie, everything becomes epic. With Engie, it's possible.
When the hand is raised, you'll realize that this sport is so much more.
Change is in the air.
They're calling him the hurt locker, and he put Perth in that hurt locker in the first quarter. 14 points on a perfect 6 of 6.
And I love the simplicity of what he does, Jack. When he has the opportunity to let it fly from the three, he does so. And he's great from inside the paint. That's an early shot there from the Wildcats. But Andrew, I know you love his style of play.
I know, he's a beauty. Like I said, he's a keeper. And he plays with good basketball IQ. Very skilled. Henshaw just powering his way to the basket, but They're going to have to do something about what's going on in the defensive end. They've given up the third highest first quarter points in the season so far with that 35. Oh.
Wieskamp trying to dribble through Paris. That's a little too easy. Steph, you're listening to John Riley at quarter time.
You know what, Gazy was bang on. He's pretty happy offensively, but says defensively the execution is lacking. He needs him to make the most of the rebounding effort to close the gap this quarter.
That makes sense. If they can tighten up defensively and that potential, is turning this into his own personal shoot-around. I understand that he's feeling good and probably very confident based on what he did Friday night, but this is the challenge as a young player to still be able to pick and choose your moments.
No, for sure, and it'll test your confidence and your resilience when you throw up a couple of air balls from the three-point line.
26 points on Friday night, career high for Ben Henschel. The breakout game, as Felix mentioned pre-game, we've all been waiting for. Wieskamp aggressive.
I think Joe Wieskamp can find an effective role in this team with better organization, with better structure. He's been the more maligned of the three imports so far this season. I think he's capable of playing a very productive role in this team. In a team that does well.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt at all. He's got some good skill sets. He's well qualified in some of his previous playing history.
Deep from Xiaomi. Webster tried to back him down. Wieskamp snuck out the back. Michael Harris got his money's worth on the foul.
And credit to Nathan Sobey, who did a good job defensively, one-on-one on the other end. A strong contest on the shot, head up, kick ahead to Wieskamp. And another area of growth with this Phoenix team since the departure of Mike Kelly has been on the defensive end. They're now fifth in the competition with defensive rating and continuing to climb. Thus far, they've looked solid in this one, Jack.
This is an area that Wiescamp's had some challenges with.
53% for the season.
Doesn't make sense.
No. The guy's got a reputation as a knockdown shooter. Yeah, Sophie got a big chunk of the ball, but John really thought he got a good chunk of arm too.
And to me, it was more with the body than the arm, but it was a real aggressive play. Have a look here. Oh, that's a foul.
$37-25 here at John Cain Arena. He got out of the gates quickly, but Hunter's started to square the ledger in that battle.
Set one, roll. Set it, roll.
Wieskamp in the mid-range. Off the back of the iron. Willis has a fumble. And Webster downhill quickly. Great take from Ty Webster.
Ty Webster has lifted his game since coming back and with the injury to Bryce Cotton. I know John Riley's going to be really upset because he feels what is being allowed on the other end when his team gets the ball is being called as a foul on the other end.
Well, they did attack the rim well, the Perth Wildcats. In fact, they're first in free throw attempts, 23 a game. So they are getting rewarded when they get there. And that time there, I don't think there's too much to complain about. The area that's really hurt them, the Wildcats, is just their general field goal percentages, and in particular the three-point field goal percentages, only at 32%. Collectively.
Tom Rivers comes out, Elijah Pepper back in. If you missed Friday night, one of the most entertaining games of the season, Perth winning 113 to 105 over Illawarra in a total scoring frenzy. Now we're starting to get there.
Another cable perimeter player, Michael Harris, knocked one down. Sobey right back at you.
Webster in rhythm. 15 points in 18 minutes on Friday night. Efficient as always. Down to Pinder. This time with the left hand. Too good. Too strong. Timeout Southeast Melbourne. This is a good run here from the Wild.
back from the Wildcats as Josh King has some words with Jordy Hunter, trying to get him to understand what his defensive concept are. And to cut that lead to 7 so quickly is outstanding work from the Wildcats.
39-32, and Bunnings backing ballers. It's a great initiative. It's taking your game from the local court to the big time. Young ballers right across the country have got the opportunity to sit buckets with the NBL stars right throughout this NBL 25 season. It's easy to be involved. You can apply online today and step onto an NBL court after the final buzzer. So when they finish today, with thanks to Bunnings Warehouse backing local ballers, it's just the beginning.
One of the most beautiful places to visit is Bunnings. Love it. Love everything about it.
Snag.
Just get a snag before you go in, and then just check out all the different appliances.
Are you onion or no onion on the snag?
I'll have a bit of onion, for sure.
Cheese?
But,
Cheese?
sprinkle, a little bit of gravy.
Yeah, very much. Yep, thank you, Andrew.
But you can take that back to Brisbane with you tonight.
What is also very nice is this response by the Perth Wildcats. And the way Phoenix are playing, they're going to give you a chance for early shots. And that last one in particular by Nathan Sobian, I know he's already knocked down a couple, but just being aware of the momentum of the game and the way in which the score has been going against you, I'm sure that was the preferred option of Josh King. If that shot comes in the last 8 seconds of the 24, then we'll know he's paid it. In the first 4 seconds, I'm not so sure.
His hands from Pepper. 9-4 starts this quarter for Perth. Here comes Pinder. And this is the layup. Malik Lewis flies up the floor at the other end. This next starter's got some serious skills.
I read during the week that they've been doing a lot of work with his ball handling, and you saw a good example of there in the open court. Nice finish.
Hammer's blocked by Sobi. He's asking for a review. They won't need the review.
They don't need a challenge.
I've changed mine twice. We changed it, please. Here we go, guys. We changed it. I'm listening. Please give us a pushing
He
foul.
called the right
Sobi's a
way
bad
according to the
defender.
official, but he just pointed the wrong way. That created a frenzy with Josh King, and unfortunately for him, he didn't even have to go to the replay, and for us.
And Nathan showed Sobi's third block shot of the game.
Foul will be on Michael Harris. Jordy Hunter, one of the best rollers in the NBL.
And as Andrew alluded to earlier, with the spacing proper now for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, that really aids Jordy Hunter because I think he's the best pick and roller in the competition.
He's certainly right up there. Good hands, athletic, can play above the rim.
Leads the NBLs, and this is that field goal percentage, 63% to start the season.
He doesn't take too many shots that aren't within his regular repertoire. He's not out there just trying to get his and jacking them up and experimenting from all different parts of the floor. He sticks to what he knows and becomes very efficient.
Cross-court pass was ambitious from Sobi. Pepper saw it coming. Sobi almost got that one as well. Did he touch the backboard there, James? Doolittle up top. Down the lane. Blocked by Hunter. Denied emphatically. But Doolittle can't play another offensive foul.
Have a look at this. There is the block.
Outstanding.
And then there's a foul called, an offensive foul. Johnny Riley's trying to get a replay before he challenges. He wants to try. He couldn't quite get it in time.
Ideally, that's a no call in my opinion, Jack.
Well, you can't wait 25 seconds and then decide to challenge it. You're going to pull the trigger. John really missed his chance. Connor pulls the trigger.
Big play fade there, Andrew. Looking at a potential and one on the other end. Turns into a 3-ball down your throat. Foul, 4-0.
John really hasn't him here. Continues to argue his case.
4-0. I anticipate a technical soon.
Staggered, it hasn't come already. Xiaomi lays it up. This is a little too easy. Timeout Wildcats.
There's Glover coming off at the top of the key, and that's just too much space. You know, this season he's had some challenges with his efficiency, but Kinder on that switch needs to be a lot tighter and more aggressive, ball pressure.
Back into this Amy replay. Sobe, one of the best in the league at realizing crucial points in the game. He capitalized in transition. 14-point lead to the Phoenix.
Tangerine timeout, 46-32 here at John Cain Arena. Sunday hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Sydney and Tasmania coming up next here at the Pump by Reebok seats this afternoon. Here's Mitch Hibbert, former AFL footballer with North Melbourne and Essendon. Now big in the fitness game, and singing to Joanna as well. Sitting in the seats enjoying Sunday hoops. What's happening with Perth defensively, Derek? Offensively, speaks for itself. They're a very capable team scoring, but what's different today from Friday night at the defensive end of the floor?
I think it's the intensity. They've got to be a bit more reckless and take some risk on the defensive end. Up and into your guy. Be willing to foul. If they call it, they call it. But right now, they've got to rattle the comfortability of the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Everything is too easy, Andrew. 46 points with 5 to go in the second quarter.
Shooting percentages that gives you a barometer on how your defense is going, and right now, 69% for the Phoenix.
David Aquarian, for his first minutes, has had 6 DNPs already this season, but not really looking for answers. There's the foul on Almanza. Steph, you were listening to Josh King.
Yeah, he wants to set up screens. He had a point of pointing out they've got 0 team fouls, and he wants them to be aggressive.
John really is reminded us in the Paddock station that it was 4-0 before that last goal.
I know that, but there was contact before it. You got to watch the whole play. He overrules the call and then he goes with that. 3 bad plays in a row. Here we go.
Hunter reels that in. It's a 13-point deficit for the Wildcats. 4-4 on the season. Not too fast. Can't finish it off.
I know John really has had a lot to say to the referees about the standard of their calls, but certainly his team needs to find some toughness on ball defensively. And right now, there's too many easy drives to the bucket.
Monta with the left hand. Presence of Geordie Hunter was enough. Lewis for 3. Foul! And some Sunday afternoon banking.
I didn't love the decision early, Andrew. I thought maybe a pack, get it up in the air to Hunter, but he pulls up. Fortune goes his way, gets clipped on his shooting hand. And as Jack said, you can visit the ATM on a Sunday.
Well, I think the foul helped the shot. In fact, it wasn't intentionally trying to go off the bank.
I hope not.
We talk about the decision he made, but he had Josh King in his ear telling him to let it fly.
8 points, 4 rebounds, plus 10 in his time on the floor. Malik Lewis started the last 6 games. It's been a big move for Southeast Melbourne. Harris checks the feet. Tough ball away in the corner. He's playing with confidence right now, Michael Harris. Sobe for Wieskamp. Shot clock down to 6.
4 seconds. 4 seconds.
Right there, Andrew. That's where Sobe, late in the shot clock, needs to catch that thing and look to make a play for himself. The pass in that instance was the wrong choice.
Yeah, that's right. We've only got 4 seconds left on the shot clock. 4.3, so plenty of time.
Foxwell. Phoenix missed another from close range. And Perth dodged another bullet. Elijah Pepper. No good. And fouls on Wieskamp.
Black 21. Holding the arm. Red ball. There you go. Hey.
Wildcats from the baseline.
Other side, Perth. Other side.
The equal opportunity offense, we're calling it, without Bryce Cotton. Ultimately, highly successful on Friday. Too bad here, too little. Eventually draws the foul.
Doolittle working hard for the Perth Wildcats. And not very effectively. 1 of 5 from the three.
But you gotta watch everything. Yeah.
They definitely need Pinder to get himself going. 6 points, 3 of 10 from the field. Currently on the bench.
Burgers might be on the cards. And well, the latest breaking news is always on the cards if you download the NBL app. You get it direct to your device. All the stats, all the write-ups, injury news. It's all there for you. And the groan from the home fans run, where the kids work out that they're not getting burgers. You can hear it.
And Sunday afternoon on Greenup, filled with lots of young ones, hoping to get that Hungry Jacks on the way back home after the game.
Public crowd.
Still an out crowd too, isn't it?
Close that capacity.
Yeah. One dribble too many from that hurt. Great ball movement from Perth, and it ends in Elijah Pepper 3.
That's a really good extra pass. Hinshaw's had his difficulties, but they knew they'd close out hard at the kick to the corner for another shooter. And really, like the last couple of minutes, but he still looks up at the scoreboard and sees his team trailing by 12.
So we stay with the momentum. Down that end. Just have a purpose and a discipline in what we're doing. I love the weak side talk. Great pressure. Great come across. Okay, stay on the glass for it. Pep, stay disciplined right now. Stay disciplined, locked in. We take care of business there. Great ball movement in this end. Hey, flow on misses. If it's a maid, we'll go punch. Punch 4. You be the cutter so we can play through the elbow with you. Here we go.
You can see Andrew, the focus quite macro there. A couple of touches on some specific concepts at the end, but he's talking about effort. He's talking about discipline. Those are the things that they need on the defensive end to get them back into this game. They ideally would like this lead to be anywhere around 6, 7, 8 going into the halftime break.
And when he's referring to discipline, he's referring to the rules that they've got in place on certain players and where they want to be on the weak side to help. And sometimes I think that their rules have been in place, but they just haven't been able to contain the penetration.
Yeah.
Just keep someone in front.
Matt Hurt's the game's leading scorer. He has 14. Sobe has 10 for the Wildcats. Elijah Pepper is their leading scorer with 8.
You saw there, Hurt were unwilling to let Hurt go one-on-one at his defender. They brought the double. That led to the turnover. Perhaps really has made the proper adjustment there.
Less than 3 minutes before halftime. Still a double-digit lead. And Phoenix came out firing in the first quarter, 35 points. And maintained that margin. Pepper gets that to roll, and he's got 10.
Continues to provide consistent punch off the bench. I didn't anticipate this type of productivity from Pepper this season, but he's been very good.
Victorian too, grew up playing his basketball in Shepparton. Perth have clamped down defensively. Foxwell with 2 on the clock. Snatched away by Pepper. This has been a good 3 or 4 minutes for Perth.
Much better point of attack defense.
Scored the last 6 in the game. Henschel cross court for Pepper. Big rebound by Withers. Henschel seems a little hesitant this afternoon, but he shouldn't be. because it was white hot on Friday night.
I think he's hesitant because he knew that it was Vert coming out. He's thinking, well, do I try and take him off the dribble? And eventually makes a good call, goes to his left and knocks it down from the three.
Hurt the step back three. High degree of difficulty. Clever from Medanovic. He's clever. He's deep as well. And once more, it's Pepper picking up the loose ball. And in transition, tees off. Foxwell was clever. He took care of the rebound. Medanovic from long range.
Another big swing.
It ebbs and flows, Drew.
Miss at one end and then to make it the other.
Back to 10 points. Doolittle playing a lot of minutes, 35 a game he's averaging. He looked fresh on that take, blew past Medanovic.
I like that matchup for the Wildcats. Got to back it up here with a stop and get the final shot of the half.
Glover baseline, and a wide open Joe Wieskamp. High arcing three. The shot clock switched off.
Not a bad shot, but there we go. I love it when you see a nice arc on the shot. I think you might have just a little bit too much.
Henschel to finish off the corner. He can't score.
Really bad foul with less than a second remaining. Because we're going to walk down the other end and Phoenix are going to pick up a couple of freebies.
Ball bouncing hard off the back of the rim. And almost one of those wrong place, wrong time fouls, Andrew, on Pepper.
It was, but looking at it in real time, it seemed like an obvious one, but it was a little less obvious on the replay.
Still 1.5 seconds remaining. More than enough time for Henschel to get a bomb off.
Quera can throw up a prayer. Southeast Melbourne hold a 10-point lead on their home floor at halftime, 54-44. High scoring.
Things could have been a lot worse for the Perth Wildcats. To get it down to 10 is reasonable. And of course, Josh King would have to be quite happy with his team's first half.
Here's Steph.
Thanks, Jack. I'm joined by Nathan Sobey. Nathan, that was an absolutely epic start. What were on this offensive explosion?
Yeah, I mean, we just came out with the right energy, put our focus on that, and to continue to roll with it. We've got to keep doing that for the rest of the game.
What will the message be from Coach King to break away further for the next 40?
We've got to come up with those defensive rebounds, and then when they go on their runs, we've got to try and limit them as much as possible. I think there was 2 patches there that they took advantage of, and the good teams are going to take advantage of that. We just got to knuckle down and get those stops during those periods.
Thanks, good luck.
10 points in the opening half for Nathan Sobey. It's 54-44. Sunday hoops at John Cain Arena here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Melbourne Phoenix. They lead the Wildcats by 10. We know he can be fiery, but you think he'd be a little relaxed, a little composed at the moment right there as he addresses his troops ahead of a big second half for a team that is looking to turn their season around. Derek Rucker, Andrew Gaze, Josh King right now looks to be ticking the boxes.
Oh, absolutely. I think that he's, like the way the team's playing, he'd be really comfortable at half-time with the offense of what they're doing. He seems to be riding every single possession and out there trying to implement his strategies. But he's the way in which he's pulling players aside, and in a lot of those instances, holding players to account for a guy coming in and just trying to establish the tone the way he wants to play. I think that he's done a really good job based on what we've seen with a very, very small sample size, Derek.
Well, that's correct. And this role that he's taken on, it's a difficult one. It's really hard to turn the forces around quickly and get guys to learn your system, learn your concepts. But it appears that he's been quite effective in getting that done. Offensively, they look outstanding. This was a really good first half. Now, in the second quarter, things tailed off a little bit, but it was primarily due to sloppy turnovers from Nathan Sobey and Matt Hurt, two of the guys, ironically, that have been your best players in the first half.
Well, as we go to the Hungry Jacks highlights here of Matt Hurt, he was fantastic in the first quarter, but he's been stranded around 14 for a while.
Well, I wouldn't call it stranded, but I think Perth have made some adjustment. He's got 14 points in the halftime break. He's 6 of 7, but he had all those 14 points in the first quarter. In the second, as Derek mentioned, he was starting to push it, trying to go off the bounce a little bit more. A couple of sloppy plays and turnovers. He's got 3 for the game. But as you can see, he's inside, he's outside. And when you've got those 14 points and to only get in the first quarter and to only get one shot in the second quarter, they'd be looking at their structures and saying, we need to find a way to get a hot guy the ball and keep him going and milk him as long as you possibly can as you look at the Blackmore shot chart.
And Perth also did a really good job, though, of double teaming him in that second quarter, forcing him to do something other than just catch and shoot or play back to the basket against their defender. So good adjustment from Perth, but Matt Hurt, nevertheless, he's going to have a big say in how this game pans out in the second half.
For the Perth Wildcats, Elijah Pepper's a guy that can come out and can give you very, very good, and he can give you very, very poor right now. Wow. He's providing enough to keep him in the game. That's not that bad of a whack.
No, well, we've seen some very, very good and some okay, not so great already in this one, and he's a shooter. That's how he's built. You look at his career throughout his college career, he's going to be looking for his shot. He's good in that mid-range. He can shoot the 3-ball. And this afternoon, they've really needed his points. They dug themselves a huge hole, and he stepped up and knocked down some shots when they needed them.
But he's a guy who could help them later in the season. So these reps that he's gaining right now are invaluable. When they bring Bryce Cotton back and all of a sudden Pepper's playing alongside of him, he'll be very effective.
Well, it's a Sunday doubleheader this afternoon. Sydney and Tassie coming up next after this. Alex Tui, the next stars in action. The Kings boys have to get themselves back on a roll. The big talk was there in the preseason and not quite living up to it right now.
Well, I think they'll bounce back. Look, they've got some injury concerns. Jalen Galloway's hurt. We know Jalen Adams has been struggling with the bad back. But Tasmania, talk about struggling. They can't find enough points. And today at Kudos Bank Arena, they've got to get at least 85, Andrew.
Well, Josh King better be saying, hey, we got Matt Hurt, 6 or 7 for the floor. Get the ball in his hands. The dances are going off. It is a college basketball atmosphere in here this afternoon. A whole lot more coming up next.
Right, you're the tree, right? Tony!
Special day for Jesse Wagstaff as he breaks the record for the most games played at the iconic Perth Wildcats. 483 games. Look at some of the names that are on that list.
Yeah, it's a special milestone for Jesse. It's been littered with success right throughout, and just an all-class type of guy, no nonsense, leader both on and off the floor. And when you put that record for an amazing club like the Perth Wildcats, it's very special, so congratulations to him.
Six-time NBL champion.
That's right.
That in itself is extraordinary.
It is. It's special, and he's loved by the fans. He's loved by and respected by, I think, fans right throughout the nation for what he's been able to do. I saw that it's coming off. He's got a bit of a crook back, though. That might
that's not going to
slow him down. Slow him down a little.
When you're 38, these things can happen.
Right. Now, I think it goes to show, too, that if you've got a good basketball IQ, you're committed to your craft, and you've got a skill set like he has, you can have a long career in this career and in this league.
It's almost like having another coach on the bench with some of that stuff that we saw Harvey Norman in the zone today. Defense is the name of the game for Perth in the second half. That's not an ideal start.
It epitomises their problems. It's the straight penetration. They had both. They had Geordie Hunter on the switch, which I think is where they were trying to go. But Sobey sees the mismatch and gets straight lines, basically to the cup.
Hunter picks up his second.
And he's getting some instruction from Josh King, who wants Jordy to commit to the basketball, not be so low, be high and early, Andrew, and I guess force a decision from the ball handler.
It is. And sometimes those bigs are reluctant because they saw what happened just down the other end and they get blown by
or dunked on.
7 points for County Pinder, sorry.
The first Phoenix possession, they attacked the basket from Sobey. That's how they were effective in the first quarter. Let's see if they can stay disciplined with that attack at the basket. Then we go from right on cue. That's where they can be successful. They lost track of that in the second quarter.
What they're doing, the Perth Wildcats are switching everything. So even then, they switch too early, though. It's more switching. If you're going to switch, you've got to at least let the ball handler go past the screener, then switch. But they're switching so early, the mismatch is there, and the weak side help doesn't even have time to get off and help on that penetration. So nothing wrong with the strategy, but the execution on that defensive end was poor.
He's got some game, Drew.
My word, he does.
Oh, now you like it?
I was abused because I said that I gave him my tip for the fantasy league stuff, and everyone's saying, "Hey, he's not going to get to play, not getting to play."
Drew, your level of abuse, what you think is abuse, come check some of my messages from time to time, buddy.
So aggressive to start the third. Another bucket from close range for South.
Simple formula right now.
Attack the rim.
Get the switch that you like. Go ahead and get it. Just attack the rim.
Sydney and Tasmania up next. Henschel. His man up in the air. Then Pinder finishes off. 1 points for Keanu Pinder. Jesse Wagstaff looks on. An 11-point game. John Kane Arena. Teams met in round one. The Wildcats far too good at hoops fest. 106-98 off the back of a 33-point final turn. Sobey fires it out to Malik Lewis. Doolittle with his 8th rebound of the afternoon.
John really doesn't think the score is correct.
2 to it. Score looks good to me.
Oh dear. That's just sloppy that time. John really believes that one of their shots was a 3 ball. Can't recall which one it was.
I think he's contesting the Elijah Pepper.
We had a toe on the line, but happy to be corrected. Play center will take a look at it. Doolittle forces his way in. He's starting to get himself going now.
And Andrew, with respect to Doolittle, he's still a young professional learning the offensive end. As Pepper almost takes Glover's cookies.
Yeah. What's the reset of the shot clock for you? No reset.
So the score is... The score is correct apparently, which is 45.
Are you sure it's at 14? Okay.
Guys, we've just gone through the stats and just told me that's
So just taking a look at the shot clock. Stat Center has said the score is correct. So I think we can move on from that one. 61-52.
This game's taken on a real interesting slant all of a sudden. It appears that Southeast Melbourne are in control, Andrew. But with the vet being in the game.
I'm not so sure. I don't know whether I'd call it control, but they're in a nice position. Tommy Greer, who just last week announced that he's going to be moving on, the CEO.
Former teammate of yours?
Former teammate and championship winner with the Melbourne Tigers. Been with the club since its inception, and so he's moving on. I don't believe until the middle of next year that he'll finish up. So he's still got some time. There's some work to do with his Phoenix program.
Not an easy thing to do to be the CEO of a startup team. For 3.
And again, Sobey puts his head into the gap, creates a little bit of space, and then Perth have to make sure, Andrew, they maintain good discipline on the offensive end. Now that's 3 fouls on Jordy Hunter. And John really will penalize Ben Henschel for that poor early 3 ball. But I like the fact that there's not any admonishment, but more coaching and teaching.
Only 20 years of age, Ben Henschel, still very much a work in progress, but he was outstanding on Friday. Some good things today. Pepper's done some great things today.
That is from a long way out. That's a good metre and a half behind the 3-point line. He's feeling it.
Well,
right
not only
now.
is he feeling it, Andrew, but he's carrying himself like this is what I'm supposed to be doing out here.
Well, he's throughout his college career, that's exactly what he did. And he's transferring those skills over here to the NBL. Have a look at Elijah Pepper. And falling over was the issue for Glover. That's deep.
Look at that Amy replay. Glover goes flying away, and I think Josh King was disappointed with how he positioned himself up against that screen, and he's getting the hook.
16 points now, 5 of 9 for Elijah Pepper. Tough look for King. Came to the league with a reputation as being a scorer. We're seeing it today. Good little pass is batted down. Well, feeds Hunter. Right idea. Nice work from Doolittle to knock it away.
Josh King in the sideline stabbed his foot, upset with that offensive transition, and I think his issue was perhaps the ball sticking a little bit.
No, it definitely was.
When it hits,
he wants that ball moved.
Finish from Sobey.
That's tough.
Sobey's been very very effective, 16 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. He was good down in Tasmania as well.
Wildcats blocked by Aquera. Smashes that into the backboard. And then Webster gets caught up.
Black.
Wow, good timing. It's when Wildcat, he's got to go into the body of Aquera. It's just for a real athlete, an easy block, and in transition, you heard the officials. Accidental slipping.
Knocks that one away. Webster, Hiram Harris Withers, Aquera Pepper out there for Perth. Kenyon Sony, Wildcat, Hurt Foxwell for the Phoenix.
And the Wildcats are going with that lineup that got them back in the game in the second quarter. More energy. It would appear perhaps not as productive offensively, but John Riley's banking on better defense to cut into this gap.
I'm sure he'd be overly thrilled with that attempt. But you're right, this combination in the first half, it was Harris that came in and was the X factor with a couple of 3 balls.
Get the feeling that Nathan Sony's about to get some advice from the coach. Judging from his reaction in front of us.
That feeling's about to become a reality.
Whoa. Pepper with a circus shot and a hard landing too. Foxwell wide open. Hiram Harris takes care of things. 66-55. Pepper. Offensive foul on Aquera.
Back turn. Have a look at this. See he turns and then just trips. It's unlucky. So when you turn, there's definitely no intent, and the defense just falls on the ground.
Yeah. We saw a lot of these calls in yesterday's games.
When you're pivoting outside your area, that's the cylinder, that's the reason for the call. It's just an unlucky course.
It's kept man of options. Just to flick it back out to Foxwell at the top of the key. Kenyon puts the ball on the floor with the left hand. Tough finish from that Kenyon. And it makes it an even 10. And leads to the home team, who have lost 4 of their last 5 against the Wildcats. Harris misses Aquera. Foxwell tries and brings it up.
So crafty with the basketball. Small guard, knows how to use timing and tempo of his dribble effectively. Outstanding finish there. Phoenix up 15.
It is. Look at the craftiness you talk about. He just read the defense, played the 2-on-1 perfectly. And Xiaomi, I think it was, trailing, but just was able to draw the defense nicely and kiss it off the glass.
Coming up next, it's Sydney and Tasmania at Kudos Bank Arena. Lennard Copeland, Brad Rosen, and Joe Healy are standing by.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Big game here in Sydney today with the Kings playing host to the defending champions, Lennard Copeland, Brad Rosen. Guys, you get the feeling that this is just about must-win for both of these teams today.
Absolutely. Neither team can afford to lose another game. You can't throw away games this early in the season and expect to make the finals.
80 points is the key, Joe. Kings have got to keep Tasmania under 80. If they can do that, they'll get the win. If they don't, this is going to be a close one, and Tasmania could get the steal.
I cannot wait for it. Tip not too far away. Make sure you tune in.
Cope's looking resplendent in the Mustard Men's Club number.
That is true, but please, can the makeup department do a little something with his hair is shiny?
Oh, I thought they were going to put some light on my brother.
I don't know, I was all right.
Sunlight, some moonlight, any type of light.
And some makeup on that bonds.
Jackson is silent and out of trouble.
It's probably the smartest thing to do. Turnovers starting to become a factor now for Perth. That's 10.
You know, we set a standard for good basketball teams in the NBL. You're trying to win 50% of your away games. And right now, we're getting a great indication of why that's the case. It is so hard to win basketball games on the road in the NBL.
Well, it is, and taking care of your home court is important. Important, as we mentioned. Phoenix have lost 6 in a row on their home deck, and they're looking to right those wrongs here with a commanding lead right now.
Drew, Phoenix are back in this season. They're back in NBL 25 now. Saying it right now.
They win today. They'll go to 4-6. They're in Sydney on Friday night, which is a good time to get the Kings, and then they've got Cairns here next Sunday, which is a great time to get the Taipans.
That's right, and what I think is that now playing to how Tommy Greer and Simon Mitchell recruited the team. That is up and down, shooting the ball. They haven't shot the ball well, but this afternoon they're 10 of 21 from the three-point line, and they've got those types of shooters on the roster that are capable of doing it, but they just haven't been able to connect. The spacing's looked a whole lot better, and if they can just continue to maintain the range on the defensive end, they are going to be very hard to beat.
He's camped on the first time that was there to clean it up.
And that's what he's got to be. A glorified garbage player. Do all the little things like that. Get yourself easy buckets. Contest the ball on the rim like that.
Now pulls up for 3 in transition. Offensive rebound by Kenyon. Phoenix can reset and expand on this lead, which is 18. Inside the last 2 minutes of the third term. Vujanovic. Buries it.
Now that possession started off poorly with a bad shot from Wieskamp, but the second effort got them an outstanding look from Vujanovic.
Doolittle turns the corner, shooting free throws.
Doolittle and Ty Webster, minus 22 and minus 28. A poor defense there. Ty Webster gets lost. Bogdanovic, we know he can do that, Drew. 2 of 2 in the game.
He's a stretch forward, and there's no way he should be that open. And they've been switching a lot, but that time was just a breakdown on the on-ball to pick and pop. Let's not forget that this team's team is only going to get better. In fact, both these teams missing a couple of key components. Derek Walton Jr. is going to have an impact for sure.
Whose ceiling is higher based on what you see right here, Drew? When they get all their pieces back.
It's an interesting one. I think when you see Dylan Whitlow, when he's healthy too, and he gets going, this is just a shooting performance that the Perth Wildcats haven't adjusted to. 12 of 24, they're just walking into the 3-ball.
Good from Doolittle, doing everything he can to keep Perth in the hunt. They trail by 21. The Phoenix, who shoot the 3-ball at 32% across the season, are at 50% this afternoon.
Yep.
He's changed his mind, John Rill.
He lost confidence.
Well, you should have challenged Sean.
Yeah, not 100%.
Play on. Clobber from a long way out. Doolittle pulls the trigger. His short as well. Athleticism of Malik Lewis. Plus 11 this afternoon, the next start. Shot clock switched off.
I haven't found a gift, and to me that's too early. You know they're waiting for the last shot. There's still 9 seconds left.
That foul must be committed as he starts to generate his drive towards the basket.
and preferably when it's 4 seconds or under.
5 seconds. That's how to play. They make a mess of that last possession. So a little freebie here for Perth. Get a little bit extra added as well. 4.6 now. Potential from a long way out.
Taking another 2 dribbles.
81-60. It's the Phoenix playing super basketball on Sunday Hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Great possession! Great possession! Yes! No! No! Go on! Woo! Yeah!
Jesse Wagstaff, our Harvey Norman in the zone player this afternoon as he breaks the record for the most games played in Perth Wildcats colours. He's out there to start the last, and he's going to take something miraculous from here for the Wildcats. We didn't see a lot of that hurt in the third quarter. That's well short to start the fourth.
We played 6 minutes in that third period. And you see on that first possession, the Wildcats have changed their defensive strategy. They were switching most of that third quarter. Now they're hard showing. And that pick and pop, they're going to be a little more vulnerable in that area as Nathan Sobey just bullies his way to the bucket.
Now he's got 18 points. He's a plus 17. Starting to find his flow with this Phoenix lineup.
What's been better with Nathan Sobey today, Ruck? Because he's got a lot of criticism this season.
Shot selection is 100% better. His focus on attacking the rim. Speaking of which, Almantha attacks the rim for a nice finish. But Sobey's had more purpose with his drives, Andrew. Yeah. He had a little bad patch in the second quarter, but this second half he's been very good again.
A couple of things offensively to start the last. Josh King's not liking here.
Time, you got to think, hey, somehow or other, we got to get a 30-plus point quarter and hold our opponents to 10.
Well, they put up 39 on Friday night. They can do it. It's about stopping South East Melbourne at the other end. That's been the problem. It's pinned up. Michael Harris for three. Big rebound, Almanza. Next start can't score. And Pinder reaching in. And he's whistled for the foul.
Well, when we think of the next stars, Malik Lewis, Ruck, he said he's got the 8 points, he's 3 of 5 from the field. I don't know of all the next stars here that he may have the highest ceiling, but he's the most mature of the ones that I've taken an interest in.
Since his insertion into the starting lineup, yeah, Phoenix's fortunes have turned significantly now. He's not the only factor, but he's a piece of the puzzle.
The good thing about Lewis is he can guard multiple positions. A lot of the times he's taken and guarding the guards at maybe 205, 206, something like that. Strong. He can understand why the NBA scouts are keeping a close eye on him.
He shot 26 on Friday night. He's been a little quieter today, but this is a reminder of his offensive capability.
Hey, timeout. Be aggressive!
Timeout coming in for the Phoenix. Perth have got this back to 17.
E-time, roll over! Yes!
Sobey.
Go!
That's not what the Phoenix were looking for. Pinder came up with it.
Go! Come on, Eddie!
Some momentum with the Wildcats at the moment. It's a big mountain to climb in this last quarter. And if any team can score quickly, it's the team in red. Almanza gets to a nice spot and scores. All of a sudden, there's just 15 the difference.
Great usage of the pivot foot down on the block. That tightens this lead up.
83-68. An 8-2 start to the last quarter for Perth. It's 83-68 here at John Cain Arena. Sunday hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Statistically balanced matchup between these two teams. The only difference is the Wildcats have not been accurate from the field as Foxwell throws one out of bounds, and Josh King is going to lose his mind.
Goodness. Steph, you were listening in. He's getting very animated, Josh King.
He sure is. He's pretty upset. He thinks the players have knocked off early. He was telling them to finish the game.
Great mindset about the game's over. Well, it is a public holiday weekend here in Melbourne, so could be super.
Oh,
that's
boy.
a double dribble.
Oh, my.
That's a brain fake.
A bad mindset or knocking off. It was just a fundamental every take two dribble, pick it up, dribble again. Haven't seen that in a long time.
.5 minutes remaining. Great moves from Hunter.
footwork, fakes the handoff, pivots, gets on the rim.
Now Hiram Harris whistles for the foul at the other end. Here's the AV replay.
Oh, Harris bites on the handoff. And just it's a runway to the cup, and he finishes it with two hands with a high degree of authority. Very nice by Hunter.
When Geordie Hunter dunks, he puts every single bone in his body into it.
He's so quick and athletic. I love how he gets off the floor, and that ball is through the hoop quickly.
Foxrock gave it up for Malik Lewis. He's starting to have a few issues shooting the three ball.
So something I've noticed about Josh King with respect to his team's offense, he is very particular about how things get done in his offensive process. He wants the ball to get driven to certain spots. He wants passes with certain timing on it. It's going to be very interesting to see how that coaching concept develops over the balance of the season.
And the other thing too, very direct with his feedback to his players.
I like that.
Oh. How did he do that? Slowing down, he threw up a prayer and it counts.
And Geordie Hunter.
Give us a call. We got to keep running.
There's a lot going on right now, but you got a player in the paint. Hunter trips over him on the catch. Nice agility to finish that play. But Hunter's really thrived since the coaching change. Jake.
Southeast Melbourne steady. But it's came at them hard to start the last.
Drew, would it be safe to say that referee-coaches relationships are at an all-time low?
Well, I think a lot of it's self-inflicted. It's what your officials are prepared to tolerate, and it seems like they're prepared to tolerate a lot of conversation, a lot of opinion from the coaches. So they just got no one else to play with themselves. There's a very quick way you can sort it out, and that is by holding the coaches accountable for their feedback. And there's a balance in there somewhere, isn't there? Like, you want to be able to have a relationship, you want to be able to talk. But maybe because we're hearing a whole lot more of it, we're more critical. But hey, they got a whistle that can solve a lot of it quickly.
Final 5 minutes at John Cain Arena. Temple open. Hunter wheels that in his 6th rebound of the afternoon. 6 points. 19-point lead to the Phoenix. A week today will take them 4-6 on the season. But after what was a really rough start, 4-6 run doesn't seem that bad.
That's a great resurrection from where they were several weeks ago. And that last play right there is what Nathan Sobey needs to build his game upon going forward. His ability to get his hips behind the defender's hips and make plays for himself or his teammates.
And there's a lot of similarities I think you can draw with what happened to the Illawarra Hawks last season and where they end up to what the potential could be for the Phoenix.
He has his critics, Nathan Sobey. It'd be hard to criticise the way he's played today, though.
I think a lot about him, even when things weren't going well, he always seems to play with the same level of energy. He goes 100% all the time, and sometimes you can question his decision making, but his effectiveness, I don't think he can.
Hunter with a rebound. Hurt was stripped illegally. Technical foul on the Wildcats.
And Jack, this is just a byproduct of all the conversation that John Riley's had. They were just looking looking for the right person to call it on. The referees found their victim.
It is, and in the scheme of things, I don't think Harris did a whole lot, but it's the accumulation.
Correct.
And unfortunately, he's the one that, for him anyway, that stopped it.
Is there some concerns around Perth and their defence, Luck? So, yes, they won on Friday night, but they did give up 105. They're going to give up somewhere close to 100 today. They are 8th in the competition for points allowed. Any issues at that end of the floor here for Perth?
Without a doubt. And we saw them struggle with this last season. And this season, they're currently 6th in defensive rating. But that's having played a lot of home games, Jack. How are you going to play defensively on the road? Today was the first test without Bryce Cotton in a tough environment. And Drew, they haven't passed this test.
Not today. It's been one of those games. Let's not forget we've got two very significant pieces sitting on the sideline. Particularly with Bryce Cotton and the Bulls.
So a little dump off. It was blocked by Tepper.
It's just trying to build that defensive framework that is going to play well no matter where you are, no matter who is out on the floor, like a Melbourne United.
Well, Melbourne United to me are the benchmark when it comes to work on the defensive end. But from what I've seen, I haven't seen enough of his best, but Dylan Windler could be a very impactful player in this league. Not just because he's a lefty, he's got a little bit of a Chris Kent. Remember Chris Kent?
Yes, of course.
For the North Melbourne Giants.
17 points on 5 of 7 on Friday night. The win over Illawarra.
When Windler goes into that category of player who's only been held back by poor health, Burt misses one from the wing.
Sobe dumps that off. Hunter gave it to Kenyon, but he'd already left. Aguero spins and scores at the other end. That was nice from David Aguero.
I've always liked his potential.
Yeah, he's got the raw attributes, the size, the athleticism. And it's for him, it's just about getting opportunity. Played in the State League in Western Australia last season. Put up some okay numbers, around 15 points, 10 boards a game. And just needs more playing opportunity. Good size.
But again, you look at the Wildcats box score and their leading scorer, Elijah Pepper, is 16 points. We've seen this a lot this year where role players are being your top scorer in a game, and usually, through our experiences, Andrew, that's not a recipe to win consistently.
Here comes Lewis, 3-on-2 up ahead. Finishes through contact, 10 points, 6 rebounds for Malik Lewis.
I think there's a lot of those that, I mean, it's my problem, I'm sort of hate to reinforce it, that we're suggesting that somehow or other the Perth Wildcats are better without Bryce Cotton.
No.
I mean, please, give me a spell, turn it up, whatever one you say. That is, and I think you're seeing a little bit of evidence of this, the insanity of those types of comments.
We've got to turn it up. But it's not footy season from Andrew Case.
Well, I've just heard the rumblings of someone asking questions about other Perth Wildcats better off without Bryce Cotton, please.
And the reality is, they have a terrific home court advantage, and role players generally play better at home. But if I'm a Perth Wildcats fan, and we've got a road game in Sydney, I'd much rather see Bryce Cotton in that lineup, Andrew. I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable.
Just as a reminder of Bryce Cotton's greatness, you can jump on NBL Plus, all his stats. Check out his contribution, what he's capable of.
Go watch some archive games. For about 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe up to a dozen of them that'll go down in NBL history.
Listen, Perth picked up 4 or 5 after this one, and they're really just trying to hang around that 500 until they get their guys back, and anything can happen. It's easier said than done, but I think 500 this year is going to put you in, it'll get you in the playoffs.
Tricky weekend coming up for Perth. They host Tasmania next Thursday night, and then they're back here next Saturday night against Melbourne United. Comes up with it.
This is turned into a much needed percentage boost for the Phoenix.
And a confidence move within the team. We get a double rejection on Pepper's backdoor cut. But this will be 4 out of 5 wins for the Phoenix as Lewis lets one fly.
Luke Rosendale out there to see the game out for South East Melbourne. Melbourne players this season. Dante Rosso Dance also out there for the Wildcats, the 19-year-old.
Manza.
Looks like he's drawn a bit of blood.
And Andrew, this type of victory, as we first had a look at Almanza, he went with the Euro. Must have got scratched across the face. A little graze of the elbow.
Hiram Harris will come in and shoot the free throws.
But I can't recall the last time the Phoenix had a victory where they were so defensively dominant. They're going to hold Perth below 80.
Harris has to be the shooters we heard from the microphone. John really didn't suggest that that's the terms of the blood rule that anyone can shoot, but that's not the case. And I can understand why John was trying to get Hiram off the free throw line because he's only at 50% this season.
He's true to his form then. So that's reaching in. He's fouled, and Rosendale will walk to the line. So the Phoenix now are going to go 2-0 on the weekend. They went to Launceston on Friday and beat the Jack Jumpers. They win today. 4-6 on the season.
And they look competent. They've gone from
they look more organised. There's going to be ongoing challenges to Reed Moore, who's carrying Walt Jr. But, they look good.
Meanwhile for Perth, this last 5 minutes has been pretty forgettable for them.
It's a regional turnaround too for the Phoenix because they did not look, although they got the win on Friday, they didn't look great. Here with the freedom of movement and the opportunities they've had to get to the ring, the easy opportunities, they've been able to make the most of it.
Pass goes down the Weeks count, but it's not going to count.
He doesn't mind dunking on heads in these camp. I like how he attacks the front of the rim, no messing around.
He's only 4 of 13 in the contest for his 8 points. So he's still trying to find his way. It's just too late.
So the home fans on their feet. They have witnessed a sensational performance from their team today. With the last one for Perth. Finishes off in style. What started off as a champ for South East Melbourne is very quickly becoming a movie worth watching. 100-76, the final score at John Cain Arena. Josh King goes 2-0.
Yeah, it's impressive. The way the turnaround, they really needed some fresh voices and they've responded well, both to Sam McKinnon prior as well. And it looks like they're defining their roles a little clearer. The rotation patterns are a little bit more predictable. And most importantly, the offensive efficiency has improved significantly, 50%.